would like to start with a question. And Katie, I think it came from your first presentation about open and honest communication and changing the way we work. What were the challenges as you told people open and honest communication? Like, we hear that, but what does it mean, and how did you overcome, because it's kind of scary to think I have to really tell the truth about people's performance.
I think
Mike still, yes.
Well, it started with an explanation of what we were trying to achieve. And so we didn't just come out and go, okay, it's okay for you all to have open and honest communication, because you're right. It'd be like, yeah, really? I think what we wanted to show them is what's the end game here, and that is that those meaningful conversations will lead to improved performance, right? And not just on an individual level, but a team level and an organizational level. So you start with kind of the why, and then certainly build into this is how we get there, right? We get there through open conversations, two-way conversations.
Absolutely. And some are the power of vision. Mm-hmm. You talked about taking this home to their children. What has the impact? Do you guys have families come back and talk about that? Like, can you
We haven't had any of the families come in to talk about it, just the individuals that went to their families to share that with them. But the pride and just their faces, just seeing that smile and knowing that they made a change in something. They know what they're doing now. They're not just building something to the print. And think of the quality that comes back. Mm-hmm. I mean, no one wants to say, okay, do this, build this. The quality has increased because we're together and we're asking those questions about should it be wired this way. But it's been unbelievable.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. What questions do you have in the audience? How are you going to do this better? What do you want to know? Please, over here.
For Katie. Katie, when you were, Fred Lee, USA. Katie, when you were talking about the results of you guys' journey, and you mentioned that on the manager side, you guys saw marked improvements, but on the employee side, it was pretty much flat. So do you have any more insight into why it was flat?
We did. One of the things that we found out through that survey is they didn't really know when it was happening. And that was really what we wanted, right? We didn't want it to be this formal process, but we had embedded new language, and as informal as we wanted the check-ins to be, we learned that teammates wanted to know when that was happening. And so for some it was very formal. For others, it might have just been what I would call kind of a drive-by. Hey, how are things going? So what we did was we did a few things for teammates. We got clear about our language, and we went back to leaders and said, you need to use the language of check-ins and grow one-on-ones, because that helps teammates know where they are and what they're up to. The other thing that we didn't do out of the gate is we probably didn't help prepare teammates as much as we helped prepare leaders for the conversation. So we went back and we created some tools that would help them feel prepared for the grow one-on-one conversation that's more formal. And then we reiterated what you might want to bring to a check-in. As informal as it is, what would be the things that you would want to talk about, and shared the questions. You know, it's all about what's going on now, what barriers might you be running into, and what's your way forward. And then that fourth of, what can I do to help?
Excellent, thank you. Yes, sir.
So Tom Diedrich with Target. I noticed a couple of the first two questions, I believe it said, or qualified like at my expectations at the end of it, my expectations. Are those about the individual or the role or some standard?
It's about the leader's expectations of the individual's performance in that role. And so with those statements, we're struggling with them. There will be a change, and it is imminent. We've tried it for 3 cycles, and we're not getting to where we want to be with that. So I think we'll go back to focusing on teamwork, individual performance, culture and values, the we are statements, and then goal development, or what I like to say, momentum. How are you growing personally and in your own role?
Very good. One more question? Over here, please.
Hi, question for Katie. I love that 5-question performance management. But getting rid of, either the skill matrix or the capability building, et cetera, what does it do to talent development or talent acquisition and setting up the organization for the future? Because if the managers and the employees don't know what the career paths are, what skills they need to develop, the conversations around the soft qualities is great. Is there something in the background that managers and leaders look at in terms of where they want to build that capability?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so we leave that up to the leaders of their teams. So that's sometimes easier in some roles than others. From a technology perspective, they're very, very much measurable skills and milestones. For others, there might not be, but that is really where the developmental goals really come into play. Is, for instance, with my team, I have a part of my team is generalists, and so what kind of development and expertise are you building in HR? So it's a little different, but we really rely on the leaders of those teams to in essence, create kind of that skills checklist, if you will.